Hey guys, it's Matt here with an IPv6 training video for BIT 123 for summer 2016. Today I'll be using Cisco Packet Tracer for my demonstration. Alright, so today I'm going to give you a quick lesson on using RIPng, or RIP Next Generation, with an IPv6 network. RIPng is basically just the IPv6 version of RIP. So first a little bit about the layout of the network. I'm using 2001:DB8:55:X with a /64 network prefix. Now the X will change with the subnet or the network number. So this point to point here is network 1, as you can see. Over here will be network 2. Over here is network 3, and then this point to point is network 4. So let's start with R1. And we'll go through the commands needed to set up RIP routing. The only thing configured so far here is that I've changed the host name, and then I'll show you just through here that nothing's been set up, everything's turned off. IPv6 addresses I guess wouldn't show here anyway, but nothing's been configured. So let's jump straight to the command line. Let's back out here. So first thing we're going to do is enable mode and then global configuration mode. First thing I like to do is enable IPv6 routing, and that's going to be with the IPv6 unicast routing command, and little tab for autocomplete there. And what that does is that's what allows the router to do anything at all with IPv6. Yeah, otherwise it'll just stick with IPv4. So first thing we'll do is we'll work on configuring the serial 0/0/0 interface on R1, and again that's going to be through network 4. So let's go to the interface serial 0/0/0 and the command IPv6 address, and we said 2001:DB8:55: network 4, and this is the first host, the 64-bit prefix. So now we can show IPv6 interface brief, and you can see the 2001:DB8 address. And this is a good time to actually mention link local addresses. That's the address right above, starting with the FE80. You'll see in the diagram here I have FE80::3, 1, 2. Essentially that's, like I mentioned, that's the link local address, and what that does is the second IPv6 address assigned to each interface that allows it to connect just on the local link. So we can have FE80::1 on the interface serial 001 as well as 000, since it's unique to just those links. Now you don't have to change the link local address, but it's often it's a lot easier if you do. And the command for that is very simple, just like the last one, IPv6 address, and we'll say FE80::1. Now you don't need to specify a prefix for anything link local. And if we show the interface brief again, you'll now see it's changed to FE80::1. The next thing we will do is no shut to bring up administratively bring it up, and then to enable RIP we say IPv6 RIP. We'll name the process. In this case we're going to name it RIP1 and enable. So we'll back out and we will go to our other interface, in this case interface serial 0/0/1, and we will configure the IP addresses here as well. So again we'll have IPv6 address FE80::1, and again that's the link local address, and again that can be the same because now that we're on the serial 0/0/1, it's a separate interface. And then we will assign the global unicast address 2001, oops, getting ahead of myself, DB8:55, and now this is the first network, so 1::, it's first host on this network with the 64 prefix. Again we will no shut And we will do the RIP command again, IPv6 RIP, the RIP1 process name, enable. Now we can look at the brief again, just to see everything we have set up. So 000 FE80::1, you see that duplicated on the other one, and the two different networks. And if we give the do show IPv6 interface command, we can see all the different subnets. So IPv6 is enabled, link local FE80::1, and then you can see subnet is 2001 DB855:4::, which is correct. So I'm going to go ahead here and just do those same commands, setting up the serial interfaces on both sides here, as well as the fast Ethernet with all the information you see listed above. Alright, so configured a couple routers there, and I'm going to bring up the interfaces just so we can watch the connectivity happen here. So there's our serial interface coming up, and our fast Ethernet. Let that run, and we'll go do the same over here. Serial 000. I should bring that guy up. And do the same here. Alright, now while our second network here is coming up, go to my third key point here. Once you have your gateways configured, the stateless auto configuration will actually determine the host's IP addresses. So I can show you that through IP configuration here. Probably better to start with IPconfig. So you see the physical address here is the MAC address, which is what it uses with the EUI64. You see the FFFE inside. It'll use that same information now to generate the IPv6 global address. So we'll change from static, we'll just set this to auto configure, and you can see auto config successful. It found our gateway of FE80::3, which is correct. And then using the information from our network, 2001 DB855:3, there's our network, and it's generated its own host ID based off of the MAC address like we saw with the FFFE inside. So we'll just enable this on each of the PCs here. Auto, successful. And finally, to show that everything works as expected, let's do a ping from PC1 here. And we'll ping over to, how about PC2? Let's find its IP address to make this easier. And let's ping 2001 DB855:3 260 to FFF FE9C E8A. And there we go, successful pings from PC1 all the way across to PC2. Thanks so much for watching, guys.